What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you a draft analysis for the first time in God knows how long. I just don't upload anymore. I just have too much going on in life. I don't get to do YouTube things anymore. I've talked with my now wife. That's a thing now. Me and Ayla got married, so that's cool. Really, really cool. But yeah. Talk to her about like potentially starting up a channel in the future, doing content and stuff, but that's way down the line once we have our own place. So you might see us again in some format, shape, or form. That would be fun. But until that time comes, if it ever comes, I have this channel for if ever it comes need. So I joined a draft hosted by Tenacious Fox. He's from the JLPC. Pretty sure he does YouTube and stuff. Tenacious Fox. Yeah, he does YouTube. So that's pretty cool. That's really, really cool. So yeah, he does YouTube and stuff. And here we have his league. It's upload preferred, so I kind of figured, I was like, you know what, like I don't have to upload this, but like I might as well, like I might as well just do it, might as well make it. Why not? I haven't recorded anything in 10,000 years, so it's figured it'd be fun. So he runs a league called the Terminus Championship League. Yeah, Terminus Championship League. Yeah, they decided to do a mid-tier season. So basically like tier 3 and under kind of situation. So taking a look at that, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of weather teams in this, which is going to be interesting to see throughout the weeks. Definitely going to be a lot of fun. Definitely going to be a lot of fun to do, for sure. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at the team that I drafted real quick. Not going to spend too much time on it because, Gen 8's been around for how long now? 3 years? And a lot of these Pokemon have been around for way longer. Y'all know what they do. Everyone does at this point. So I'm not going to dwell too heavily on any of these because it doesn't really feel like there's a need to do so. But we're just going to go through each one real quick, just my thought process, and yada, yada, yada. So, let's go. Is there anything that shows, like, who drafted what in what order? Or nah. Because I know my first pick, right? My first pick here, the GOAT, aka Swampert, was entirely a reactionary pick, sort of. Well, more or less a reactionary pick, right? The first two Mons, the first few Mons drafted, I was number 5 in the draft order of 10. So, of course, wouldn't be a PokePrimer draft if I wasn't sitting dead center in the goddamn middle. The first 2 picks of the draft, right, were Metagross and Darmanitan. So my thought process is like, I'm seeing these kind of things go. Aurorus went early, but that who cares? There was also like Mienshao and stuff like that went fairly early. I was like, I feel like getting a bulky water off the table this early would be really smart, plus a really solid ground type. There's no hidden power in this, so his only weakness is literally going to be like anything that has actual grass coverage / like grass types, actually. So I feel like he's going to be an incredibly good bulky threat. Chew up hits from basically everything. gonna have to be careful for things that learn Power of Solar Beam, but other than that, I think it's perfectly fine. I think he'll be a solid member of the team. I've loved using Swampert for a very long time, and so I'm very happy to get a chance to use it once again. You know, Swampert's amazing. He's the GOAT. He's my favorite starter Pokemon probably of all time. He's up there. He's way up there, but yeah, so the GOAT, Swampert. Then I scooped up Diet Dr. Kelp. I figured like getting a dragon off the board early would also be really smart. I had plans for what I would do for my fairy. Well, I had rough plans for what I would do for my fairy. But I wanted to make sure to get a dragon off the board early, and I figured if I'm going to grab a dragon, especially in a lower tier league, I'm going to grab one that's not weak to fairy, make the most out of it. And plus, this thing's 4 times resistant to my main, the star of the team, because I want Swampert to kind of be the star of the team. That's kind of the goal. I mean, I don't expect it, but it's the goal in my head, at least. You know, my dragon is 4 times resistant to his only weakness, so that's going to be very useful for sure going forward. Plus, I figured, again, like, it's low-tier league. There's not a lot of things that are going to want to take adaptability-boosted Dracos, or, like, adaptability-boosted, like, Sludge Waves and stuff. Plus, Dragalge has, like, really insane bulk. So, I feel like, you'll notice my team is dummy slow. Like, I have, I think, 2 Mons on my entire team that are above base 90. Yeah, like, only 2 that are above base 90. So, my team's stupid slow, but it's also all, like, for the most part, really fat. So, that's the main purpose of that's the main goal with my team, is I'm going to take hits. I'm going to take hits from my opponents, and I'm going to either OHKO them back or chunk them enough that, like, they're not taking 2. I'm taking more than 2. They're not taking more than 2. That's the thought process here with my squad. So yeah, Dragalge's really strong. It gives me Toxic Spikes as well. Probably pull up my thing that has a breakdown of, like, hazards and other important details for the team. It's probably also pretty useful. Yeah, so it gives me Toxic Spikes, gives me more momentum with Flip Turn. Yeah, it gives me a lot of fun stuff. A lot of fun things with Dragalge. Plus, I just like using Dragalge. It's a really fun mon. It's a really, really fun mon to use. So yeah, Dragalge's great. Then I got sniped. I kind of wanted. I was gonna try to get Tangela, but literally the person right before me sniped Tangela. But it is what it is. So my backup, I ended up getting my backup grass, but I'm actually kind of happy to welcome him back. We had him in JLPC a while ago. We actually kind of claimed a 6-0 with Maractus, with Maractus before, so the Cucaracha, the Maractus, is back in business, ladies and gentlemen. It is, again, a grass type, so it's also another resist for the grass types for Swampert. It has Chlorophyll. Again, you know, there's weather teams running around, so having a Chlorophyll mon will be useful. Water Absorb and Storm Drain. It gives me a water immunity as well, so I can protect other members of my team even better. You know, what's better than being a water resist? A water immunity. Very, very good stuff. Really solid special attack, solid enough attack stat. Kind of mid-tier bulk, but if you guys saw the game where I utilized this thing to 6-0, you would understand the power that Maractus holds. It is truly a devastating monster of epic proportions. Yeah, it's a solid mon. Gives me some more hazard support with spikes, which is very nice. Gives me priority with, like, Sucker Punch. Gives me things like Leech Seed, Spiky Shield. which is always a good, fun time to have. A fun time to be had by all. It's a knockoff user, which is going to be very crucial. Because I'm sure a lot of these games are going to be won or lost off of what mons have their items and what mons don't. So yeah, I think Maractus is going to put in some work for us. I have faith. I like Maractus a lot too. I think it's just a fun mon to use. I've used it before. It's fun. If I could do well with it in a non-low tier league, I just want to see how I can utilize it in a low tier league where a lot of like the more threatening things aren't around. Next up, we picked up my Steel type, which is going to be Don Quixote, the Escavalier. The mindset behind picking up Escavalier is pretty much the same as Swampert. It's a bulky-ass mon that has a 4x weakness, but that's its only weakness, and there's no hidden power. So, my only thing that threatens Escavalier is something that might have some fire coverage, or an actual fire type. So that's pretty fantastic. Its bulk is insane. Its attack is through the roof. Again, stupid slow, but it doesn't really matter. It's like a truck. It's another knockoff user. I won't be crit by things, which is also nice. I also have Overcoat because, like, there is a Hail team. This thing's going to be stupid good against the Hail team, realistically. So very, very cool. Just some good coverage across the board. Nothing like crazy. It doesn't provide like a lot of like typical roles that like I'm looking through here, but like what it does provide is an incredibly bulky, hard-hitting physical attacker that is going to absolutely nuke things whenever it gets a chance to hit. It is going to nuke mons left and right, which I'm super excited about. Plus, Escavalier is cool. I like using Escavalier. Next up, I grabbed my fairy type. This is literally the only fairy, if I remember correctly. This is the only fairy I had in my plan when I was, like, sending in picks and stuff. This is the only fairy I had planned for. Because looking at the rest of the fairies, I wasn't, like, a huge fan of a lot of it. So I was even when I sent it, my literal words were just for the next few picks, Gramble is my potential fairy. If that gets sniped, just skip to the next set of picks and look and find me my fire type, because I haven't determined any backup fairies I want. So we Gramble. I was talking about Gramble. I didn't even click on Gramble. Precious the Gramble, because let's be real, rich people be getting big, floopy jowled dogs like Gramble and calling them something like Precious. Let's be honest. So this gives me a cleric, nice heal bell user, which is very nice. Gives me a strong fairy type, a very hard hitting fairy type, with some good bulk. Intimidate support is always really good. I could potentially also utilize Quick Feet in the future if that is something that crosses my mind. If I needed an offensive fairy for a week, Quick Feet Gramble couldn't be a bad thing. Gets like absurdly good coverage, which is incredibly nice to have. Super Fang support as well, which is going to be nice. Yeah, Gramble's great. Gramble's really, really cool. I've always enjoyed using Gramble. I've used Gramble in like dozens of leagues over the years. To good success. It's one of those slept-on fairies that like people don't think are good, but like are actually really good. So that's our fairy type for the team. It's Gramble, and we're gonna finish off our Fire, Water, Grass core with our fire type being Hermione the Delphox. I actually can't think of any other times I've utilized Delphox in a league. I genuinely could not tell you last time I've used Delphox in anything, ever. I also realized now I lied. I have 3 Pokemon that are above base 90. Not really much of a, upgrade, but, it's still, 'twas a lie. an unfortunate lie. But yeah. So what I have with Delphox is it's a potential Wish Passer. It is a strong fire type. It is faster than base 100s, which is nice. Very, very nice. Much, much needed. It has access to Trick Room, which, looking at my really slow team, I could possibly utilize if that comes up as an option. Just build a bulky Delphox set and set up some Trick Rooms and get my team rocking and rolling. I mean, the unfortunate thing is it doesn't have any form of momentum moves, so that's mildly bummer-ish, but it did, can't be perfect. Right, cannot be perfect. But, pretty good coverage for the most part. But it's basically here to spam fire moves and occasional psychic moves, more or less. That's pretty much its whole purpose in life. Strong Mon, good special attack, really good SPDF, decent bulk otherwise, fast. It's Delphox. It's one of my least favorite, probably top 3 least favorite starter Pokemon, but it's good enough competitively, and I think it'll be a really solid fire type for this league. Next up, we have Metaclaws, the Crabominable. I've always kind of wanted to use Crabominable. Don't know why. I just kind of always did, but I don't think I ever have. At least I can't remember a time where I've used Crabominable. But it seems like it'd be fun. It's got Iron Fist, so it's going to be that, we're going to be punching things really hard. A lot of hard punching. He's got some decent bulk backed by a really strong attack stat. So, like, if I'm hitting you really hard. Ice and Fighting is an incredibly strong offensive combination. And he has, some good coverage with things like Crab Hammer and stuff, which is just very cool, very cool. I kind of wish this thing was, like, in Gen 8 so it can get something like Flip Turn. Because, I feel like they would give him Flip Turn, I feel like 100% this would be one of those, like, non-water types that gets Flip Turn. So he gets Crab Hammer. It's got Bubble Beam in its moveset. So, I mean, like, why not give him Flip Turn, Why not give him Flip Turn? But yeah, this thing is literally here as a possible breaker that can just click buttons, nuke whatever's in front of me, and go from there. Because it's a fun mod. It's one that I think will be incredibly fun to utilize. And, if it sucks, it sucks. I'm more or less doing this league for fun, so we'll just see how Metaclaws does. Next up, I wanted to grab my fast electric type, and I found one that was solid and, like, just hung out for, like, the entire the draft. And I was like, alright, this'll work. And for those who know the intro, sing along with me here. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Yes, referencing Game Boy Luke here, we have the Rotom. We have little Rotom here. Good special attack, good speed, middling defenses. Rotom Spook here, as I like to refer to him, is not meant for his bulk like his transformed versions are. He's not designed for his bulk. He's not built for that. He is built to be fast. He is built to click electric moves, and he's built to prosper. He is a defogger, though, which I believe this is actually my first form of hazard removal on the team. First / possibly only. No, I have other hazard removal. One other hazard remover. But he's the first of our hazard removers for the team. Fast, Volt Switcher. Burn things with Will-O-Wisp. Paralyze things with T-Wave. Stuff like that. Standard electric type nonsense. Plus it's Rotom. I like Rotom. Rotom's cool. Rotom's a cool dude. I like him. He'll be fun to use. It's a ground immunity, which is nice for the team. We don't have any of those so far, so a nice ground immunity will be good for us. Especially because like we don't really have a ground weakness, but you know we got like 2 mons weak to ground, so it's nice to have the immunities for it. There are some typings we're a little bit weaker to, but for the most part, like looking over our type matchups, we're not super bad against like a lot of the typings, so we're just going to be a little bit more cautious on the weeks that we're facing those types. So, but next up, I picked up, I decided to pick up another mana I'm 99.9% sure I've never used. That's going to be Cult Leader, the Gumshoes. Y'all know why. If I need to explain the nickname to you, y'all either aren't American or haven't been paying attention to the past like 6 years, whatever. Gumshoes just figured it'd be a fun mon to try out. I will never utilize Stakeout. I'm just putting that out there. I will never utilize Stakeout. It will either be Strong Jaw or Adaptability. Most likely Adaptability. I mean, listen, it's base 110 attack, it's got adaptability, it's got a lot of normal type moves, it's got like Facade, there's Nat Dex. Does that fix its move pool at all? Not really. It's got Facade, because a lot of moves got removed, obviously. You know, like, cut moves aren't allowed, so, like, return isn't an option. For some reason, this thing doesn't get Double Edge, which feels like a crime. But, you know, it gets Hyper Fang. That's cool. It's Hyper Fang. Last Resort's cool. Takedown's cool. If you land it. Regardless, this is going to be a fun mon to toy around with. Like I've never even thought of using Gumshoes. Why? Okay, it's down here. Okay, cool. I was about to say why he get Ice Fang and Fire Fang but no Thunder Fang. No, Thunder Fang's always in the usually useless moves for some reason. People hating on Thunder Fang, rude. Yeah, Gumshoes, another hard-hitting physical attacker. That's one thing I've noticed. My team is a little bit more on the punchy side, which, you know, that's fine, I guess. I mean, it's still, you know, it's not too bad. Not too bad. I feel like I'm still pretty balanced out, though. I feel like, yeah, looking at my average stats, I'm pretty balanced out for the most part in that category. Literally, the only average stat that's not like super okay is speed, but that's because I have like 80% of my team is mad slow. But yeah, Gumshoes. Gumshoes is cool. Getting distracted as per usual. Last but not least, my last defogger I picked up. I figured a psychic immunity would be good. Figured psychic types could possibly be something to be really strong in like a low tier format like this. Plus, having a flying type is also nice to have. So I picked up Murkrow, Capone Beige, for my One Piece fans. I know that's probably not how you pronounce his name, but I like calling him Capone Beige, so it rolls off the tongue a little better for me. That's just my personal preference. You don't have to agree. It's fine. Yeah, this thing's frail as hell, but its main purpose in life is to be prankster, be a prankster mon, which is super good. It gets Haze for removing stat buffs. It gets Perish Song, which could be like a late game just I win now kind of situation. You know, things like Taunt, Thunderwave, Toxic, Prankster Roost is really fun to mess around with. Prankster Defog is good. But even still, like it's a low tier league. Base 85 attack stats with a 91 speed. Like this thing could also like click Brave Bird if I need it to. Be offensive. Click like foul play or click sucker punch or something. Like I can run offensive moves on this now too, as opposed to like in more standard leagues where like this thing's probably not going to be doing any damage to anything. Since it's a low tier league like this with a lot of mons that are a little bit like squishier, this thing can like actually like possibly be an offensive threat for somebody, which is really, really cool. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to test this thing out and see what I can do with it. Tailwind and stuff is another option I just noticed that I could have. Especially with all these weather teams running around, I felt like Tailwind could be really cool. To, put some of my guys on the same speed tier that some of these like slush rushers and chlorophyllers and swift swimmers are running around at. So yeah, that's our team for TCL. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm probably not going to do anything crazy thumbnail wise for this one. Just fair warning. I'm just not gonna. Just not gonna do anything really. It's just fair warning on that. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and till next time, I'm PokePrimer signing off. Peace.